You all are at the I'm Admitted Now What student webinar, admitted student webinar for UC Merced. So thank you for being here. We will go ahead and jump into the content. We have a couple short slides for you all today, but really the point of today's webinar is to connect with all of you and provide resources and help answer any lingering questions that you may have now that you've been admitted to UC Merced. No matter where you're at in this process, if you're still considering if you'd like to join us in the fall, or if you have already submitted your SIR and said yes, you will be meeting us in August. So thank you for being here. We'll go ahead and introduce our team. So my name is Jess Ventura. I'm the Graduate Recruitment Manager here at UC Merced, and I will pass it off to my colleague, Jesse.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jesse Hernandez, and I'm the Graduate Recruitment Specialist for the Graduate Division here at UC Merced. And I'll go ahead and pass it to grad admissions. I'll pass it on to Tanya.
The classic mute. Hi, everyone. My name is Tanya. I'm the Admissions and Academic Services Manager for the Graduate Division, and I'll pass it over to our specialist, Beto.
Hi everyone, I'm Beto, but I go by Umberto Frausto, and then I'm an admissions academic service specialist here at UC Merced, and then I'll pass it over to our grad funding.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Chua, and I'm the Student Financial Services Manager. And then I have my colleague here who can introduce himself as well.
Hi, everyone. My name is John. I'm a Student Financial Services Analyst in the Grad Funding Unit.
Great, thanks team. So as you all can see, we have a really great team here today that's ready to answer any questions that you may have, whether it's from the admission side of the house, funding. We'll try our best to answer those types of questions, and then also just about UC Merced in general. So like I said, our goal for today is to really kind of give you any information that you may need to help you solidify your decision that this is the right place for you to pursue your graduate studies. To recap for those that just joined us, we have a couple short slides today, but this session is all about you. And so we're going to leave plenty of time at the end for Q&A. So as we go through, you're welcome to either type questions in the chat, or better yet, hold them and wait till the end and turn on your camera and turn on your mic and ask away. We love to connect with you. So with that, congratulations to all of you on your admission to UC Merced. You've done something really extraordinary and amazing that a lot of people don't do, right? You are going on to pursue your higher education goals. So whether you're going to be a PhD student or a master's student here at UCM, you've accomplished something really extraordinary. One cool thing about UC Merced, now that you've joined us, in case you don't know, we are the newest UC within the UC system. We are about 20 years old at this point. So we are a growing campus. We are growing physically in our campus size. So I know I see some familiar names in the joining us today, and some of you have actually gotten to see our campus in person and gotten to see that there's buildings being built and all kinds of additions being made, which is really exciting in terms of graduate studies. But in addition to like this newness and freshness that comes with a growing and up and coming university, you're still part of what's considered the most prestigious public university system in the world, and that's the University of California. So you are a part of UC Merced, but in addition to that, you are going to be part of a larger family network. And so you have 9 other campuses that we regularly tap into, that we collaborate with and work with, and have that history and that prestige that kind of are there to back your studies. So it's very exciting. So welcome to UC Merced, but also welcome to the UC, which is, an extraordinary accomplishment for you. Next up, we have a couple, one more thing, actually, in case you have not heard, UC Merced recently completed our R1 classification status. So it's been almost a year now that we officially became an R1 university, which is the top tier of what a research university can be. That means that we fund our graduate students and focus on things like time to degree, grants, different kinds of expenditures when it comes to research. So just know that you are coming to a university that is in the top tier of what research can be in the nation. Next up, just a couple dates and things that we want to put on your radar. So, the very first thing that we want to drill this date into your brain is that Graduate Student Orientation Week, GROW, begins August 17th. So this is very important. This is the date that we look for all incoming students to join us here on campus in person for your first day of orientation. Over the next couple months, you are going to get a lot of emails reminding you of this date. You are going to get a registration form so that you can register for GROW and let us know that you're coming. And you're going to get more details. But just drill this date into your brain. Know that you need to be in Merced on campus on August 17th. And that's going to be, the start of your graduate student journey here at UC Merced. But like I said, you'll get plenty of information via email to kind of help guide you through that process until then. A couple other dates that might be of interest to you is just when the actual fall semester begins, that's August 19th, and then when instruction begins, and that's August 26th. And of course, if you have questions about any of these dates, feel free to drop them into the chat. So next, we are going to shift gears a little bit and hear from our admissions team. And Tanya's going to tell you a little bit about what you need to know now that you've been admitted.
Hi, everyone. So first, to start off again, welcome and congratulations. We hope that you respond to your statement of intent to register by April 15th if you have not done so already. So April 15th is the SAR deadline. So that is across the country. Every institution that you've been admitted to should be giving you the deadline of April 15th and nothing earlier. So please submit your intent if you are planning to attend UC Merced by that date. There may be issues with, as mentioned here, your funding package may not be viable after that deadline. So we really want to make sure that you guys submit that your intent to come to UC Merced by that date. What's next after that? After you say yes to coming to UC Merced, you'll start receiving more information that is in regards to coming to UC Merced. So you're now considered an incoming student versus a prospective student. So you'll receive more information on how to claim your UC Merced Net ID and your two-factor authentication, which is how you can access more information, begin registering for classes and all that good stuff. So that'll be happening after you SIR within like 24 hours, you'll receive an email about next steps. Go to the next slide, please. And then additionally, on top of that, most of you all have received a provisional admissions offer. So what that means is that you have to complete a provision in order to finalize your admissions. So on your admissions letter, you received information on what's needed for you. So they're all individualized to you as a student. The main ones are obviously your bachelor's degree. We need to confirm and validate that you received a bachelor's degree, confirm the GPA. Additionally, another one may be test scores. If your program required the GRE, or if you're an international student who needs to confirm their TOEFL, IELTS, or Duolingo. So those are all required to be submitted by the last day of the fall semester, which is December 18th, 2026. And there's no exceptions to that. If you don't meet this requirement, there will be a hold on your account and you cannot register for the upcoming semester. So you will be receiving reminder after reminder all the way up until December. But we really ask that you guys, as soon as you can, begin sending your official transcripts. The only people that should be waiting on sending us your official transcripts is if you are currently registered for classes. So we do have a lot of students who are currently undergrads who are still, haven't received their degree. Maybe you have a May graduation date or an August graduation date. then you would wait until that degree is cleared, it's official, and then you would send us your transcripts. Okay. Next slide, please. I did touch base on this. This is more just generalizing how you can send your transcripts. So we accept official transcripts through our email. So you can send them through gradadmissions@ucmerced.edu. However, for them to be considered official, they need to be sent directly from your bachelor's awarding institution directly to us. So they can't be sent to you and then, you open them, the link and then you send us that link. That you need to have grad admissions as a receiving end of that email. And then for TOEFL and the GRE, that's through ETS. Our UC Merced code is 4129. And through IELTS, it's also by like snail mail, which if you look down below, that's our address. So please make sure that all our official transcripts or any documentation comes in a sealed envelope. If the seal is open, they are considered unofficial and we won't accept those. So again, please begin working on that now if you're planning to attending and if you already SAR'd. Thank you.
Thanks, Tanya. And now we'll hear from Chua with some information about funding.
Yeah, hi everyone. I will go into the different types of funding that we have here. So first and foremost, make sure you check your funding offer letter because that will tell you what you are being offered. So most programs do 5 years, some do 4, and then some do one year. So it's important you look at your funding offer letter. That'll tell you what you're going to be offered. So then there are two ways. So most students are going to be employed as teaching assistants or GSRs, graduate student researchers. These are considered employment and they will be paid through the UC Path. You'll be on payroll and then it'll be paid through UC Path. Your employment is determined at the school level, so by your program. So depending on what your program is, we have 3 schools here: SOE, School of Engineering, Shaw, School of Social Sciences, Humanities and Arts, and then SOE, which is School of Engineering. The next types of funding is fellowship, and that is paid through a financial aid system. Those could be internal fellowships, external. Most internal fellowship will flow through us. We do have some external that goes directly to the student. And so it just depends. If you have any questions with like where it needs to flow through, you can always contact or email grad funding and then we can help assist you with that. But fellowships are usually coordinated by us in conjunction with your program and schools. And then the basic eligibility to maintain funding for both types of funding, you have to be enrolled in 12 units or more, be in good academic standing with a completion of 8 units or more of upper division, a letter grade of BS or above, and then no more than 2 incomplete I grades with a cumulative GPA at 3.0 or higher. So those are the main eligibility for the funding. And then we go into cost of attendance. So cost of attendance is this, I'll go over a breakdown of what it was for this past year. For the next academic year, the 2006-2027, we don't have that information yet. That usually gets updated in the summer, but you can always, it'll increase by 5%. So whatever that total amount is right there, you can adjust it 5% up for the total for the 26-27 academic year. But tuition and fees for the academic year is $20,428. That's fall and spring. And then tuition is $65.70 a semester. Graduate student services is $645. And then we have health insurance, graduate student health insurance. fall and spring. So the fall number is a little bit smaller than the spring, and that's because spring will cover you up until the end of summer. So that number is higher there, and then you'll have to add in campus-based fee, that's $498.50. All those numbers should add up to the 2428 above for the cost of attendance for this year. And then for students who are considered non-resident for tuition purposes, so international students and students who are domestic but are outside of California, you'll get this NRST fee tacked onto your cost of attendance. It's about $15,102 a year. So break that out. It is going to be $7,551 per semester. And so master students, you're kind of responsible for the fee yourself. There's no help with that. But for domestic California non-resident PhD student, if you're fully funded, you'll get your first year covered by the graduate division and then you'll have to establish residency by the second year to avoid that NRST fee. So it's important that you guys start gathering your documents so that you can get residency by the start of your second semester to avoid the NRST fee. There's a link there that will take you to the registrar's office who kind of oversee that process. It'll give you like all the dates, deadline, and then the documents that's required for this process. International students, you guys are automatically covered for fourth semester or essentially 6 semesters. So you get your 3-year or 6 semester covered, and then after that you're expected to advance to avoid the NRST fee. And so by the start of your 7th semester, you should advance, and that'll get rid of the NRST fee. Next slide. Additionally, for employment, so an appointment with 25% or higher TA or GSR, you'll get remissions. So that's that's the benefit of employment. So fee remissions, that includes your GSHIP, your tuition, your student services, your campus-based fee, and NRST. All that gets covered if you are appointed at 25% or higher each semester as a TA or GSR. And then for NRST, kind of going over that again, for students who are masters, you're responsible for that yourself. And then again, for domestic California non-resident PhD students, you're only covered for a year, and then you're expected to obtain residency at the start of your second year to avoid the NRST fee. International students, you're eligible for 6 semesters, so we'll cover 6 semesters, and then you'll need to advance. And then for students who are going to be a TA or GSR, you'll get a W-2 issued at the end of the year, and that'll be through the payroll UC path. Fellowships are not employment-based, so there's no work expectation tied to fellowships. So if you're on a full fellowship that gives you monthly stipend and cover your tuition and fees, there's no employment with that, or there should be no employment with that. It's monthly stipends. You're not taxed. It'll be paid out through our student financial system. It should cover tuition and fees and NRST as well. And then for the summer, how that works is you get a lump sum payment instead of 3 monthly payments for June, July, and August. You'll just get one lump payment for that at the start of the summer semester. So roughly around June 1st. And then for fellowships, instead of W-2, you'll get a 1098-T that you can then take to file for taxes. And that is issued through the Student Business Service Center. And then lastly, for fellowships, you want to make sure, and this is for everyone, if you're going to expect a fellowship within your graduate tenure, you'll need to set up an EFT, and that's going to be separate and different from direct deposit with payroll. And there's information on the SBS website that will take you through the steps to set up an EFT. And then for international students, you will have to, there's a system called Glacier, and it's a tax compliance system that foreign individuals use to provide their immigration and tax data. So you need to keep your information up to date in this system. It helps to determine your tax residency, withholding rates, and income tax treaty eligibility. And this process is done by the tax office. So if you have any questions about that sort of thing, you can email tax@ucmerced.edu, but it's important that you guys keep that up to date.
Great. Thank you, Chua. So we covered a lot of really important information, and a lot of that is, for everyone, but there is some information, especially for our international students, that you all will want to look out for. So for our international students, after you're admitted, and you submit your SIR, you will hear from our Office of International Affairs so that you can begin the visa process. And it's very important that once you hear from OIA, that you get in touch with them and that you start that as soon as possible. What we have found in the last couple of years is that this process is taking a lot longer, depending on where you're from in the world. And so we want to make sure that we're able to support you and help you get through that visa process in a timely manner, so that you can be here on August 17th and there's no holdups in getting you here to UC Merced. I know Tanya had one more point that you all want to consider, and so Tanya will share that with you all.
Hi, I think you covered it, but yes, so make sure that to start the I-20 process, you have to submit your intent to register. So kind of if you can, and you want to join UC Merced, just please do that quickly and get in contact with the Office of International Affairs as soon as possible. Again, just you covered it very well, but you can't start the I-20 process unless you SIR.
Yeah. So being admitted doesn't mean that the process has started. Submitting that SIR is what jumpstarts the process here at UC Merced. So just kind of remember that. And then also, going back to what Tanya mentioned earlier, that April 15th SIR deadline is very important because that guarantees your funding package. So for all students, make sure that you submit it by that date. Okay, let's keep going, Jesse. What's the next slide? Cool. So, my colleague shared a lot of good details and information, on the admission side, the funding side, but there's also this other side, right, of being a student at UC Merced, and that's the support side. So things to consider when you are either deciding about coming to UC Merced or just kind of figuring out if we're the right place is that we also have a lot of student resources. And hopefully, as you've gone through this admission process, you've learned about them, you've gotten to hear from some of our staff members about the types of work that we do, the type of work that we do. But just know that when you're coming to UC Merced, we're going to have things like mentorship programs. We do things like social programs. So I know some of you might even know students here already at UC Merced, but we do things like a monthly outing in downtown Merced where we buy you dinner at a local restaurant and organize like a karaoke night or a trivia night. And the best way to kind of get a look and feel for, what we do here at UCM outside of the academics and outside of the research is to follow us on our social media channels. And that will give you an inside look at what to expect once you're a student. In addition to the things that our own office puts on, like we were just talking yesterday, we actually had an ice cream day. There are different student organizations that you can get involved with. So there's the GSA, there's various clubs on campus. So just know that when you come to UC Merced, there's this broad network of support to help you figure out your place on our campus. Next up, Jesse. Other things that you all want to be thinking about, and we'll be sure to share some resources via email, is just housing. So that's one of our top questions is where do graduate students live once they come to Merced? And so the answer is they live off campus. So at UC Merced, we don't really have on-campus graduate student housing. We have very limited number of units that are reserved primarily for international students who had a hard time finding an apartment before they came to us. So we will share these links via email. You may have actually already gotten them depending on when you were admitted, but you'll continue to receive links to our off-campus housing site through UC Merced. A lot of students connect via, Facebook groups. There's a graduate student Facebook group. So we'll share those links with you. And then in the summer or in the next couple weeks, we'll do a special session just on housing. But once you submit your SIR, start utilizing these resources and start kind of putting fillers out there because the longer you wait, the harder it's going to be to find a place. So we encourage you to start looking as soon as possible. Okay. We will share these links. These links are actually all on our website as well, but these are links to folks outside of graduate division that you might want to be getting into contact with. So OIA, if you're an international student and you've submitted your SIR, definitely get in touch with them. Specific questions related to your actual funding packages, those are great questions for your actual school coordinators. Of course, Chua and John can help you, but it's things like that are set in the schools. And so we always recommend that you start off with your school support staff on specific questions, because they're going to be the ones to help you with class registration. They know the details of your funding packages. And just think of graduate division as more of an umbrella that we can share general information, but for specifics, always reach out to your schools. And again, some questions related to tax services will come up in the future. You probably don't need to worry about that quite yet, but during GROW, we actually will have a webinar where we cover a little bit more about what taxes look like now that you're a graduate student. Finally, I think this might be our last slide, how you can get in touch with us. You can email all of us. I think we would welcome individual emails. I know I've shared my emails with some students right now, but feel free to contact us, or all of these emails here are to our different units. If you email those, our whole team will see your questions and be really, ready to help you. In addition to that, like I said, you can follow us. Our handle is the same on most platforms. So if you go there, you'll maybe actually get to see some of the fun stuff that we're doing this week for Graduate Student Appreciation Week.